Good morning, first graders. Today I'm going to be reviewing with you about nouns and verbs. Now think in your brain, what does Mrs. Cheslock and I talk to you about these two types of grammar? Nouns. There are three different categories that a noun can be. It's every person that you know, and everything that you can show, and every place that you can go. You know they're nouns, right? So a person, a place, and a thing. So a person, we could say Mrs. Cheslock. We could say a place, maybe the library or school. And a thing, you could say her lunchbox or maybe her marker. So a person, a place, and a thing. And then verbs. Do we remember what verbs are? It's an action, right? So Miss Sherbell is talking, to do the action of talking. Miss Sherbell is putting her hair up, the action of putting my hair up in a pony, right? So actions, to do something, to be active. Even though sleeping, you're not really moving that much, it's the action of being asleep, right? Now, before we start our skills practice page, I did want to go over a couple different types of nouns, not just person, place, or thing, but deeper into those three categories. So a person, place, or thing, let's say a dog, D-O-G. Now this is a singular noun. It's not more than one dog, but how do we know that? Because there's no S or ES at the end, right? So this is just a singular noun, one dog. But what would happen if we added, that is a terrible S, I'm sorry, S. Well, it would be more than one dog. So whenever you have an S or an ES at the end of a noun, it's a plural noun, more than one. Adding an S or ES makes it plural. Let's see, we have another noun. Box. This is one box, one noun. But when we add an ES to the end of it, it makes it more than one box. Now, sometimes when you have certain consonants at the end of your words, you have to add an ES instead of just an S, but not all the time, just sometimes. So whenever you have an S or an ES, it makes it plural. And whenever you just have one of a noun, it's singular, dog and box, right? Now, there's also something called possessive nouns. Possessive nouns is in your possession, or in the who the story is talking about, in their possession, what they have. So if we're talking about the dog, we could say, make sure I can fit it. All right. The dog's bone. I almost forgot a period. It's a complete sentence. The dog's bone. Well, notice what I put here, an apostrophe S. So that means it's a possessive noun. That dog is a noun, right? We know that because it's a thing. But whose bone is it? It's the dog's, right? The dog's bone. So we know that it's a possessive noun because of the apostrophe S. So I know that was three little mini activities that we just did. So keep that fresh in your brain as we start our skills practice page. I'm going to make myself a little bit smaller. And we are going to be going to page 219 and 220. All right. Make myself just a little bit bigger. There we go. All right. So it says review nouns and verbs. And these are some of the rules for these nouns and for these verbs. On this page, it's just nouns. On the other side, on the BACK, those are verbs. And we'll talk about those in a second. All right. So nouns show possession by ending with an apostrophe and an S. So those are possessive nouns. Nouns and verbs can name one thing, singular, or name more than one, plural. So just like you see duck, making more than one duck makes ducks, and glass, more than one glass, and glasses. And notice how that one changes to an ES, not just an S. All right, so let's read the directions. It says practice. Read each sentence. Underline the singular nouns. Circle the plural nouns. Put a box around the possessive nouns. So I don't want you to stress out about this. What you can do is first look for the singular nouns in line 1. Then we'll look for the plural nouns in line 1. Then we'll look for the possessive nouns in line 1. So I don't want you to feel like you have to find them all at once, because that can be very stressful and you might forget to circle some or box some or underline some. So I'm going to do the first 2 with you, and you can do lines 3 and 4 on your own, okay? So line 1, the park's paths go into the trees and the meadow. Ooh, actually, this week has been a really nice day to go to the park, so hopefully you guys got to do that this week. So that's not a person, place, or thing, right? So we don't need to worry about that. Parks. Notice what you see here, an apostrophe and an S. So that is a possessive noun because a park is a place. So it says to put a box around the possessive nouns. So you would put a rectangle or a square around parks. Now, do you see any other possessive nouns? Paths go into the trees and the meadow. No, I don't see any more possessive nouns. So we've checked off our possessive nouns. All right, now it says circle the plural nouns. So plural nouns means something that ends with an S to make it more than one noun. So the park's paths. Well, path is, I guess you could say it's a place or a thing because it's something that people walk on, right? So this is more than one because it's more than one path because there's an S. So you're going to circle like an oval or a circle shape around the word paths and then go into the trees. Oh, I see an S at the end of tree because there's more than one tree. So you're going to circle the word trees and the meadow. Well, meadow doesn't have an S, so we don't need to circle that one. Now, the last thing it wants us to do is underline the singular nouns. Well, let's see. The park's paths go into the trees and the meadow. Well, the only singular noun I see is meadow. Meadow is a place. It's like a grassy area, and you're going to underline. So put a line under the word meadow. So you should have a box around parks, a circle around paths, a circle around trees, and an underline around meadow. Okay? All right, line 2. Let's go ahead and read it. Then we'll start from possessive nouns. Then we'll go to plural nouns, then singular nouns. Brooke's kite is flying near the clouds in the sky. All right, so do you see any possessive nouns with an apostrophe S? Brooks, right? Because Brooke is a name, and they're talking about her kite. She owns that kite. So it's an apostrophe S because it's in her possession. It's hers. So you're going to put a rectangle or a square around Brooks. And then do you see any other possessive nouns? Neither do I. All right, next thing we're going to do is plural nouns. We're going to put an oval or a circle around them. So do you see any nouns that have more than one that have an S at the end? Brooke's kite is flying near the clouds. Clouds is a thing. So you're going to circle clouds because it is, more than one cloud. It's plural, a plural noun. So you're going to circle it. All right. Now let's see if we can find any singular nouns. Remember, you're going to put an underline around the nouns that are only one. All right. Brooke's kite. Oh, well, kite. Does she have more than one kite? No, she can't hold 5 kites. She would get blown away or something, right? So kite is only one. So you're going to put an underline around kite. So Brooke's kite is flying near the clouds in the sky. Well, sky is a noun as well. So you're going to put an underline around sky because there's not more than one sky, right? So you're going to put a box around Brooks. You're going to put an underline around kite. You are going to put a circle around clouds, and you're going to put an underline around sky. All right, hopefully that makes sense. So lines 3 and 4, you can go ahead and do those on your OWN. Remember to put a box. Actually, you can just read the directions, but definitely put a box around the possessive nouns, circle the plural nouns, and underline the singular nouns, right? All right, let's go to the BACK. Now we're going to start talking about verbs. Now I know that we said, oh, well, we know what verbs are. Verbs are actions, right? Well, now that there are different actions that we do in the past, in the present, like right now, and in the future. So we know that when something's in the past, you end it with 2 letters. Do you remember? Well, not all verbs, right? But most verbs end with these 2 letters. Do we know them? I'm writing them down. ED, right? Now, the ED sound can make 3 different, well, this spelling pattern, my apologies, makes 3 different sounds. It can make the ed sound, it can make the d sound, or it can make the t sound. It all depends on what verb you have. But sometimes when you have the ED, those are the sounds that you hear at the end. All right, so let's see what directions it has for us to do today. Oh my goodness, my words. All right, apply. Read each sentence. Circle the past tense verb in each sentence. Then write a new sentence using the same verb in present tense or future tense. So what it says is find that verb that's in the past. We're going to circle it. And then we're going to change the sentence to make it so it's either in the present, like happening right now, or in the future. So I will help you write these sentences, but if you want to switch it up to do them on your own, that would be awesome. I will do 5 and 6 with you, and 7 and 8 you can do on your OWN, okay? So I found this cool thing that you can do. Actually, you can make a box. So I'm actually going to be able to type it for you. So it'll be a little bit easier to see, okay? All right, question 5. Jack and John played in a soccer game. Well, where's your action? What are they doing? They played, right? Because that ED. So you're going to circle played. And now we're going to make it into a future tense sentence or in the present, happening right now. All right, so I'm going to choose future tense. Now, when you make a future tense sentence, you sometimes add words that make it so it's happening not now, but soon. So you could say Jack and John will play in a soccer game. Make this a little bit bigger. All right. So it says, oh my goodness, there we go. For some reason, it's not showing up. All right. So I'm just going to hold this up for a second just so you can see it. For some reason, it kind of gets cut off right here. Move it. No. All right. So instead of saying Jack and John played in a soccer game like they played it in the past, like it's already happened, now we're saying Jack and John will play in a soccer game. So they haven't played it yet, but they will soon, right? So that's what these directions are saying. I know there's a lot going on there, but I want you to circle the past tense verb and then change the sentence to make it so it's happening now or later. Okay? All right. Let's do the next one. My dog, Daisy, napped in the sun. All right. Do we know what our verb is? The action of napping, right? So it's napped. We're going to circle napped. And notice the way I'm saying that. Napped. I'm not saying napped or napped, right? I'm saying napped. So remember that ED can make that sound, right? All right. So I'm going to actually make this happening right now. So in the present tense. So my dog, Daisy, naps in the sun. And a period so we can breathe. So my dog, Daisy, naps in the sun. So it's happening right now. Not saying she will nap, because that's happening in the future. That's something you could change if you would like. but I'm choosing to do a future tense and a present tense. So my dog Daisy naps in the sun, like right now, happening now. So that's why I changed the ED, took it away, and I put an S, because that's what the dog's doing, naps in the sun. All right? So that's what you're going to do for questions 7 and 8. Just rework the sentences to make them either in the in the present or in the future, and make sure you circle that past tense verb. Okay? Well, hopefully you enjoy our little grammar lesson, and I'll see you soon. And happy Mother's Day to all you moms, grandmas, aunts, cousins who are taking care of our sweet children. Okay? Enjoy. Bye.